Intelligent and charitable, Sulayman the Magnificent's daughter MIHRIMAH married a grand vizier, inspired Mimar Sinan, and advised her father and brother in state affairs. MIHRIMAH was the beloved daughter of Sultan Sulayman the Magnificent and the only sister to his 5 sons from his beloved harem Sultan. She actually had a sister, Tasasis Razieh Sultan, who passed away at an early age. Her name, MIHRIMAH, sometimes spelled MIHRIMAH, means the sun and moon in Farsi. Extant letters written by MIHRIMAH Sultan indicate that she was well educated and disciplined. She was sophisticated, eloquent and well-read, like all princesses of the empire. Once she reached the age of wedlock, a compatible suitor with a bright future was chosen for the only daughter of the Sultan, Rustam Pasha, the governor of Diyarbakir. Their glamorous wedding took place in 1539. Rustam Pasha is one of the wealthiest personalities in the history of the Ottoman Empire. There is a colossal book with a record of his entire wealth on display at the Topkapi Palace. He was well educated and had a keen interest in writing about Ottoman history. His splendid library consisted of over 5,000 literary works. He wasn't fond of poetry and disapproved of poets. Hence he was satirized many a time. His frugality was regarded as stinginess. Upon his marriage to MIHRIMAH, Rustam Pasha became the Grand Vizier to the Sultan at the age of 44. Serving 2 terms and becoming the longest-serving vizier, he proved himself with his intelligence and diligence. Like a democrat, he worked independently. Even the Sultan wouldn't interfere in his business. This complacence led to jealousy and hence, to an increased number of enemies. He passed away in 1561. MIHRIMAH Sultan wasn't the representation of conventional beauty. Instead, her charm lay in her remarkable intelligence and good nature, which is how she got along well with Rustam Pasha, whose jealousy was known by all. Shortly after her wedding, she developed a rheumatoid-like condition and spent most of her life dealing with the illness. She gave birth to a boy and a girl. MIHRIMAH Sultan was loved dearly by her father, who valued her opinions. Following her mother's death in 1558, she became advisor to the Sultan. She acted in capacity of Valide Sultan, Mother Queen. Throughout her life, she had a say in many state affairs. She encouraged her father to embark on a campaign to Malta, for which she had 400 galleys built at her own expense. Her congratulatory letter to the King of Poland upon his accession to the throne till this day remains preserved in Poland's archives. She continued to act as advisor to her brother Sultan Selim II, who ascended the throne following their father's death in 1566. Like mother like daughter, MIHRIMAH became known for her piety and benevolence. She was the wealthiest woman of the century, often loaning money to the treasury and spending her wealth on charity and good deeds. The poor people she helped comprised the majority of those who grieved her death. The repair of Ain Zubaydah, the spring in Makkah, the establishment of a foundation to supply wrought iron to the navy were among MIHRIMAH Sultan's contributions to the empire. MIHRIMAH Sultan's most famous foundations are the 2 mosque complexes in Istanbul that bear her name. She commissioned her father's chief architect Sinan to build them at the 2 entrances of Istanbul, one across the Üsküdar Pier and the other in Edirnekapi, at the western wall of the old city. On the highest of Istanbul's 7 hills, the twin minaret mosque complex in Üsküdar, a prominent landmark, consisted of a mosque, a madrasa, a soup kitchen to feed the poor, a clinic and a primary school. With the exception of the mosque, the primary school, library and madrasa are currently used to serve as an outpatient clinic. The mosque in Edirnekapi consists of a fountain, madrasa and hammam. Unlike its namesake, it features a single minaret. When MIHRIMAH Sultan passed away in Istanbul in 1578, she was buried in her father's mausoleum rather than in one of the mosques she had built. According to a recent enchanting story, it was love at first sight for architect Sinan. He saw MIHRIMAH while she was accompanying her father during the Sultan's Moldova campaign. To impress her, Sinan built a bridge spanning the Prut River in just 13 days. He asked for her hand in marriage only to have his proposal rejected by her father. He in turn poured his heart into his architecture. He built the MIHRIMAH Sultan Mosque in Üsküdar to resemble the silhouette of a woman with her skirt sweeping the ground. Meanwhile, the chandelier inside the MIHRIMAH Sultan Mosque in Edirnekapı and the engravings on its minaret were designed to depict the image of a woman with her hair falling down to her heels. Both mosques were built based on very precise calculations of sunrise and sunset. On March 21, MIHRIMAH Sultan's alleged birthday. While the crimson-red sun sets behind the single minaret of the mosque in Edirnekapı, the moon simultaneously appears between the two minarets of the mosque in Üsküdar, MIHRIMAH, the sun and moon. Hence, the masterpieces he built for MIHRIMAH Sultan are believed to be a reflection of the great architect's undying love for her. This delightful story is nothing but a figment of the imagination. It is from a recent novel. There are no historical evidences or even a rumor in this regard. It is unbelievable that the 50-year-old architect, who is also married, saw MIHRIMAH and fell head over heels in love. Let alone, taking the women of the Ottoman dynasty along on campaigns is unheard of. Besides, how is it possible to know the day and month MIHRIMAH Sultan was born while even the year is uncertain? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel.